What's up, you guys?
Welcome back to our channel.
Hello!
Hello, welcome
What's up,
back
you guys?
to our channel. We're Big Fat Big. We usually make music, now we make YouTube videos sometimes when we feel like it.
Pausing to say sorry for the shit sound. An angle of this video we still haven't figured out. A new setup in my living room is still echoey and sad.
The eagle-eyed of you will realise we're not in our usual filming background because I don't live there anymore. I moved at the start of the year and that's mainly why we haven't filmed all year, because we've had nowhere to film. But now we have a sofa and a wall.
Lovely.
And that will do us. So today we're talking about tour. If you didn't know, we went on tour with Martha last year.
If you didn't know, you've never spoke to us, because we will have told you in the first 5 minutes of speaking.
Yeah, we're just here to brag about the amazing time we had on tour. I think we're going to talk about like the practicalities of it, how we did it,
Some tips,
yeah,
fun memories,
Yeah.
nice fun times.
just talk about, because we did talk about it a lot beforehand, like saying we're going to do it with Martha, but we haven't actually on YouTube spoken about the time that we had on tour.
Yeah.
So here we are.
And also, we're going on tour again in June with two really cool bands, the Latchkey Kids and Animal Byproducts. We're going to Leeds, Huddersfield, Manchester and Sheffield, not in that order. Sounded like James A. Cassidy, not in that order. So if you live in any of those places, please come and watch us play and say hi. I'll put the tickets down below. Come and watch us play. And if you do come, you'll have a little bit of inside knowledge how we make it all work. But because you've watched this video.
Behind the scenes, some may
Somebody
say.
said Easter
Peeking
egg.
behind the curtain.
How do you go on tour? How does one go on tour?
Questions.
Question mark.
Well, when we went on tour with Martha, we'd never been on tour before, so
I feel like that experience was different to what a lot of people do have, but for me, that just kind of shows that there's like no one route to get in a tour, and it's not like if you don't have a booking agent, then you're never going to get on tour, because that's just not how it works.
even though some people have told
Some
us.
folk may say this, spreading vicious lies and rumours.
That's not.
It's not true. It's simply not true. You can do it independently. You can do it with other folk. You can do it with a booking agent. There is not one route to get on a tour, as we have learned.
Martha are obviously a way bigger band than us, and this was a support tour. If you didn't know,
Martha did not support us on tour.
Yeah, they took us on tour. They asked us to go on tour supporting them, and the bands that we're going on tour with this time they've asked us to go on tour with them, but we're headlining it.
Yeah.
And they've kind of booked it all themselves and stuff, and we're just going along for the ride.
For a nice fun time.
But it happens all different ways. Martha asked us, how we got on the tour. They literally just asked us, so they knew who we were through somewhere.
Millard.
Yes,
From the Future Heads. Name drop.
Yep. That's insane that he knows who we are in the first place.
No, and not only that, but enough to suggest
So
us.
yeah, he recommended us.
All round good guy. Thank you so much, Ross Millard.
They wanted to take someone from the northeast, and we fit that bill. We saw that they'd announced a gig in London, and we were like, maybe that means they're going on tour. Maybe we should ask if we could support them.
Mm-hmm.
And we were literally figuring out what we were going to say
at the exact moment. Not the day before, not even 10 minutes before, the exact moment. Me and Katie were discussing what's our plan of action to get on this at the time it was just one date.
Yeah.
Well, how do we get on this date? We got a message from Nathan from Martha. It was weird. It was really so weird. Fucking weird.
It was meant to be.
Yeah. Serendipitous.
Yeah. So yeah, they just said, "Do you want to come?" And we said, "Hell yeah."
I think at this point we should insert the clip that you sent me.
This was me finding out, got the email, and it was it was the whole tour being like, "Do you want to come?" And I sent this video to Robin.
I remember when I was at work, working from home. My dad was working from home in the kitchen, and I was just screaming. I was like, "Oh my god!" Katie was here in fucking North Shields, 20 miles away from me, and we were both just in our respective homes, screaming, just losing our fucking shit.
And we know people would take the fucking arms off Martha to do what we did, and we're aware of how lucky we are, and we're so grateful for the experience that they gave us and everything.
It was life-changing.
Literally changed our lives forever.
I can't put into words how important that experience was for like just my mental capacity. We know that not every tour is going to be like that. I don't think it possibly could be. Like, I don't think it could be as good as that.
No.
For so many different reasons, but like knowing that experiences like that exist is like enough to keep me going forever.
Really.
Like, it was just so good, and yeah, we know exactly how lucky we are. We're bragging, but not really. Not really bragging. Just a little bit bragging.
I guess the moral of the story is just be as loud as you can be, so that as many people as possible have their eyes on you. As long as you're making enough noise for people to look, then maybe the right person will look and give you opportunities and stuff. So
represent yourself in the way that you want to be represented, and you want other people to perceive you. And also, my final piece of advice on that front would be shy Ben's getting out. We were fully intending, if that email had not come to us, we were going to ask, and that would have then in theory led to us being on the same tour. So if there's something that you see, just ask. Like, 9 times out of 10 it's going to be pre-sorted, it's going to be out of that artist's hand, it's going to be because of labels or something, but that one time that you didn't ask could be the one time that you end up on the tour. And just like be grateful for everything that you get, whether it's one show. We were literally going to ask for that one show, we didn't even know that it was a tour, whether it's one show, whether it's 10, whether it's a bloody world tour, like, it doesn't matter. Just like be present, be grateful, and take it for exactly what it is, because that's I feel like that's what we've done or tried to do. Next.
Financially
Question mark.
So true.
That's all that
So we were very lucky in that Martha told us our fee on that first email that they sent to us. Our fees were laid out from the start, so we knew how much we were getting paid, and the fact that we were getting paid at all, when like a lot of people on our level will be losing money from touring and stuff, like that's a big deal.
Those fees were enough to at least break even. We knew that we had enough to get to the place and to stay wherever we needed to stay.
But obviously we didn't get that money until we were either like at the shows or after the shows, so we had to front all the costs, which was terrifying. We made enough, like I say, that was in May, and then we didn't start spending money like booking hotels until like way later in the year. So throughout the year we were just conscious that we were going to have this to pay for, so we were saving money from like gigs and stuff like that. I feel like one of the main conversations we had about money to do with tour was merch, because we'd never made merch before, and we were like, there's no way we can go on tour without capitalising on that experience and making merch and stuff. So you fronted the cost of that. Which was I just had like not much savings, but like some savings put aside, and in my head there was no way that we weren't going to make that back, because first of all, the designs were great. Like, we went to someone that we really trusted to design the merch and to make it look like us and something that we would wear ourselves. And if you're doing that, then like other people will buy it. And also just because of the size of the shows, like even if we'd sold like 3 t-shirts a night, that would be what, like £45, which doesn't sound like very much, but when you're doing so many nights in a row, like it all adds up. And I just knew that maybe that was dumb, maybe that was like a oversight on my behalf to assume that, but I was just in my head, there was no way. No, it wasn't. Like, we made a lot of money from selling merch. Like, that's, I know people don't talk about money, but like, we've made more money in those 3 weekends. We've made more money than we've ever made.
And it was like so amazing to see these crowds being like so willing to invest in a band that they've literally seen half an hour of. But I just knew in my head when I fronted that money, there's no way I'm gonna not get this money back. Like, I'm gonna get it back, and then the rest of the money is gonna go back into the band. And that's important to say as well, that like we personally have never seen a single penny from the band. Like, we would never take, we don't split gig fees or anything like that. Like, it all goes straight back into the band. It goes into paying the people that we need to pay, paying for petrol, it goes into paying for studio time, it goes into paying for merch, like all of these things that you, when you start a band, you maybe aren't thinking about. It's really expensive, spoiler. So like all of that money goes straight back into that. We don't take any of it. I just took back the money that I put into it, and then the rest of it went back into making more. Obviously, think about the size of the shows, and like realistically, how much merch do you think you're going to sell, but like it's worth having. Even if you buy too much, it's always worth having because it's a constant stream of income.
I think as well, when you're a band going to other cities, people are like more willing to spend money on you because they think they don't know when the next time they're going to see you is, and like they realise how much work has gone into you being in their city and playing your music and stuff, so people are more willing to support you. So if you're going on tour, it is like, especially if you're supporting someone else on tour, like, because it's people that have never heard of you before and want to invest in some way. So,
and I think that kind of screams how like well curated this tour was. That the crowds every night, there was like hundreds of people telling us that they enjoyed the show, like our show, and that might not have happened if there was like a bigger gap in genre or like just energy or whatever. Like that just might not have been the case. So if you're putting on a tour of your own, that's definitely something to think about. Like go on tour with people who sound like you or feel like you, or that's just something else to consider.
You just have some kind of overlapping audience. In terms of keeping costs down, we booked the cheapest hotels we could.
Literally, like we drove out of cities to stay. Like we didn't stay in London. We didn't stay
in any cities.
No, we drove like an hour after each show to get to the travel lodge or the hotel or whatever it was.
I know Martha stayed with like friends and stuff, but we don't have any friends.
Not yet. Do you want to be our friend? Let us know in the comments down below.
That is actually, it was so cool to see, like, not all the time, but like most of the nights I would say they were staying with people that they knew in different cities, because like obviously they're older than us and they've like kind of built a community of people around them in the scene who like they've stayed at their houses before, they've stayed at Martha's houses before and stuff like that, like, and that's like something to aspire to. Like it would be really cool if one day we didn't have to book hotels, but for now it's the travel lodge. And for some reason, travel lodge is always cheapest for us. Because some people, I know I've spoken to other people and they say like different ones.
Hostels and guest houses and stuff. We couldn't find anything cheaper than what we found.
Good old travel lodge. We borrowed a van from Ryan's dad, which we're very, very grateful for because it changed that experience. Like if we were driving in cars, it would have been, well, the petrol would have been more expensive then. And the experience of not being together, like it wouldn't have been the same. It was so much fun in the van. I don't know what we would do if we didn't have that. Probably just lose money.
Yeah, we would have to just lose money. And like a lot of this is like, it's kind of inevitable that you're not going to make money in every facet because it's just like, unless you've got someone putting money in here.
We knew where we were going to make losses, where we were going to make profits, like what risks we could afford to take.
We were comfortable with all of that as well. We knew that if that was the case and we lost here and here, that's like, okay, we're not going to make money, but that tour and touring in general for us isn't about making money. It's about getting our music to as many people as possible, and if that means prioritising that over money, then we will do that. And like obviously that's such a privilege to be able to do that and to be able to lose money. But if you're in our position a year ago, if you're in the same position that we were, just gig your arse off, make sure you get a fee, save, like there's no tomorrow, buy some merch, invest in some merch, and just cut costs everywhere else that you can. Because when I say we don't come from money, I mean we come from nothing. Like we do not come from money, and we managed to make it work. It's just, you've just got to work really hard and gig loads and
build on it and like realise that it's going to be slow.
That's
all the boring shit. Now on to the fun stuff. So, what have we got written first?
Favourite show.
Much to consider. All of them were amazing for different reasons.
100%.
I think the one that sticks in my mind is London.
Yeah.
Because, like, so that was the first weekend. It was the second show we played of the whole tour. And it was the biggest show we've ever done by a mile. There was like 1,200 people there or something. And I feel like we were all like there was a lot of adrenaline. It wasn't even nerves because, like, I feel like we don't really
we were so excited.
Anymore. Yeah, we were
so excited, bouncing off the walls.
Yeah, we were so buzzing from the night before and so buzzing to play, and then all these people turned up, smashed the set.
Everyone was so nice.
Yeah, we met so many amazing people. I feel like we were getting more friendly with Martha then as well, and like
more comfortable.
It was just. I remember having so much fun on stage, and I remember looking at the audience and then looking like at Robin, Ryan, and Joe and being like, "What the fuck is
It's going
on?
on. I was
Like,
like that as well.
I remember being like I need to remember this. Like I need to like
be present.
Yeah.
I think that also would probably be up there for me in like in the conversation. But like I've never felt emotions the way I felt on the last show of tour. Literally, we played the last note and I burst into tears. I was a mess. I was sobbing. There's a photo of me and Naomi hugging. And I've just got tears in my eyes and you can see my lips quivering. I'm a state. And it was like, obviously that was in Glasgow, and Scottish people are just like always so up for it, and like the energy in the room was like nothing I've ever experienced before for like any band. It was crazy.
The crowd were like feral.
Yeah.
Which the Martha crowds weren't really like that, which they're kind of like more like Radio 6 vibes than like what
Radio
you
6
might get
dads.
for I mean the crowds were always very up for it and into it, but they're also like very respectful.
Yeah.
Whereas Glasgow was like feral.
They went crazy. They went
so cool.
mad, and it was just amazing. Like they were like that for us, but like they were like that tenfold for Martha. Like it was so good. And like I just remember getting to the end of our set and being like, I don't know what happened. Like I don't know. I was trying so hard not to lose it. Like on stage in front of an audience, and then I have to go backstage and talk to Mother, who are like my heroes, when I'm a fucking clip and crying and shit. But it was just, I just could not stop. Like it was just, the floodgates opened and I just couldn't stop. And it was like, I will remember that show for the rest of my life. Not for like any reason, like it wasn't the biggest show we did by any stretch, or like it was probably one of the smaller venues. Like the venue was amazing. We had some really nice food and stuff there on the afternoon, and like it was just great. We were all just having a good time. But like I don't know what it was about that one show that it just unlocked something in me where like I just couldn't stop fucking crying.
It was afterwards when we were watching Martha do their set, and it was me, you and LK. Yeah. And we were literally just like dancing and crying like
like that meme of the that's literally what it was like. It was
so good.
It was embarrassing, tragic, but like so good. I know that Ryan and Joe's favourite show is both Brudenell Leeds.
Oh yeah.
We talked about it the other day and they said that their favourite show was the Leeds show. That was our last show with Joe before he went off on another tour, so that was really special for that reason. But also it was like our first time in Brudenell, and like we'd had some really nice food. Like we got pie from Brudenell that was really good.
We had a good day.
We had a very, very good day. Favourite
city. I will say we didn't spend much time exploring.
No.
And I know people say this about tour because you're just going from place to place. But I remember writing this down, and I wanted to mention when we had pizza at Rudy's in Manchester.
Oh yeah, that
so
was nice.
We got to Manchester early, and Martha were running late because they'd like hit traffic that we'd avoided. So we had quite a bit of time in Manchester to kill, and we went to Rudy's where we'd been before to get pizza, and we were like sat outside but it was like covered, and it was raining, and there was like a candle on our table that said romantic meal for 4 days. It was really, and the pizza from Rudy's in Manchester, if you get a chance to go, oh my god, it's amazing. I mean, I've been to Manchester loads, but
it is good.
That was a good time.
I think it was the first time we'd been to Bristol, and we did a little bit of exploring in Bristol. Like we went around the shopping centre. There was a giant Santa. That was amazing. That was a real talking point. So I really liked. Like I was very pleasantly surprised by Bristol, and like just kind of like how when we were googling stuff that we could do, there was so much that we could have done, and like we'd need to go back and play ASAP and do more exploring there, because that was like a real surprise for me. Like I didn't really think there was like much there.
No.
Like you don't hear of much, and it's not like London where like how much there is going on and how like happening it is. Like that, I don't get that same vibe. But like when we went, I was so surprised by how like much there was to do, and like the vibe was great. The people were lovely, and probably Bristol for me. Favourite venue?
I feel like you're gonna say Pop Rex.
Probably Pop Rex.
Yeah.
Because it's like I'll be a traitor if I said anything else.
Yeah.
Like it's my favourite, probably my favourite venue ever. So like
it's
I'll
definitely
be a liar.
my favourite venue in the northeast.
Yeah, it's so good. Ran by great people. Like it's just, it sounds great. It's the right size. The vibe's always immaculate. Like it has to be Pop Rex for me. And it's not because, like, I've played there before, I've been there a million times, like, I just love it there. It feels like home.
Metronome, where we first played, is definitely up there because I think they had the best sound, probably, of the whole tour. Because it's like, you know that vibe when you go to a venue and it's like, it's obviously a music venue, but it also does other things like theatre or whatever, and it's very clean.
Yeah,
they've got a brand
it was
new sound
immaculate.
system. Yeah, we had a good dressing room, and it's maybe not got the most feeling, like it's not like Cool Dirty Rock Show or whatever, but
That's not what we look
no,
for.
I'm clean, and I love good sound.
Clean girl aesthetic.
Metronome.
Favourite food?
I feel like we've already talked about food a lot.
There's one that we haven't, and that
Where?
Well, I thought
Pop Rex.
I thought you were gonna say the pies.
Yeah, I love the
pies from
I didn't
Brunel.
realise how much good food we'd eat.
We had so much when we were in London. We had like these taco things and like Mexican food. That was really nice. Where did we go when we were in Bristol? It was just a chain restaurant, but it was nice.
Burrito.
We just had a burrito.
Burrito or tortilla?
Tortilla.
I had the burrito at tortilla.
Tortilla. That was yummy, but like obviously it's just a chain.
Yeah.
Pop Rex for me though. Again, it just can't be beaten. The fucking bread.
The bread. We had this dip. We've not stopped talking about this dip since we
haunted us. I don't even know what it is though.
I don't know.
Like I don't know. It was like a hummusy, tzatziki kind of garlicky. Oh,
it was amazing.
They made way too much food.
Yeah.
Like it was enough to feed everyone that had attended the gig.
Yeah.
Let alone just the people upstairs. It was just phenomenal.
It was delicious.
So good. If you are in the northeast and you're looking for somewhere new to eat, please, for the love of God, go to Pop Rex. Especially if you don't eat meat, if you're veggie or if you're vegan. The options there are crazy. It's just sublime. So fucking good.
True.
But yeah, I would say Pop Rex or the pie and mash from Brunel.
Yeah, I think that
was
be mine.
Delicious.
The pie at Brunel, even though it's just pie mince pies, there's something special about eating a pie in a social club. It's given working class
with fizzy Vimto, nonetheless.
That was definitely the best drink we had. Fizzy Vimto on tap. We ate all that good food, but we also ate a lot of shit food.
Yeah, we went to Costa. So much.
Tory bastards.
To be fair, it was delicious.
It was delicious. It's the only thing that's open in like service stations at night.
At like 2 a.m. or whatever.
Like
I had so much mac and cheese from Costa.
Mac and cheese.
I'm not chatting shit on Costa. Best moment.
One of the best ones was when we got off stage at London. We finished the show, finished our set, put our instruments down, took photos on stage, and then we went back there to like sort ourselves out, and we all just looked at each other like we were all like on the verge of crying. We were like, we can't cry, we've literally got to go back on stage and sort our gear out, and then we've got to go and sell merch.
And it's show 2?
It was show
2 of 9?
We were so dramatic, but like we were like trying not to cry, like all hugging each other, and then we were like, okay,
now business time.
Yeah, don't look at each other, eyes to the floor, get back to work.
Then we cried afterwards.
Yeah, I'll never forget that.
I agree. I think that was probably my best moment as well. And like maybe after the first night in Nottingham, obviously Martha knew who we were and they'd listen to our music and stuff, but they'd never seen us play as like a full band before. Nathan had seen me and you play.
Yeah.
But aside from that, that was it. They had never seen us. So like when we came off stage and they were so enthusiastic and they were like, "Yes, it's so good," and like just being so nice to us, I was like, thank God. Like imagine they thought we were shit.
We
so
could have been shit for all they knew.
Yeah. Also, after that as well, getting to watch Martha for the first time, we were literally like at the side of the show, and I remember there being people in the front row like laughing at me and Katie because we were like screaming, pointing, like dancing our tits off. Worst moment.
Are we gonna be serious?
Yeah. Probably. I know what mine is. I feel like it'll be the same.
Obviously things go wrong.
Yeah.
When you're doing something like this, a lot of stuff's gonna go wrong. And when we say worst moment, like this is still, like for me, this is still like one of the best days of my life.
Yeah.
So like
in perspective,
yeah,
it's not bad.
Nothing
it's just
bad
like something that maybe a reminder that everything's not perfect all the time.
Yeah. When we were in, I won't say where. Because like I'm not going to slag anyone off.
No.
But basically one of the venues weren't best equipped for what we were doing.
Yeah.
and we just had loads of issues with sound, and there was just this awful noise. We were sound checking, and there was just this like horrendous noise that we tried loads of different things, and it was an earthing issue in the venue, and there was nothing we could do about it. And Martha had the same issue and stuff, so it wasn't like it was just us. But this was probably the worst sound issue that we've ever had.
Because there was nothing we could do about it.
Yeah.
And there was no way to make it better.
It was basically, it was just like a horrible noise.
Like, we were not having a good time.
It was just
with it.
horrendous.
And no, it was different when we were playing. You couldn't hear it as much as what was very off-putting.
Hearing a million different noises in your brain at one time.
It's already very like overstimulating and overwhelming being in that kind of environment, especially when you're the one on stage. Like going to a gig is a lot, let alone being the one on the stage.
Yeah.
So it was already a lot, and it was difficult to concentrate and like stay in the zone and stuff. So like, I mean, if that's our worst moment, then we're very lucky.
Got very little to complain about.
Yeah. Funniest moment.
We thought we had the same one of this, but apparently we don't.
No.
Should I go first?
You go first.
It was one of the times we'd gone back to the travel lodge.
Yeah.
Nothing was open, and we decided to have, for our tea, we were going to have snacks from the vending machine.
Yes.
So one of the things I got was a twirl. It's literally not funny.
Don't look at me.
We went back. The twirl's the tip of the iceberg. Like, so when we got to the travel lodge, we loaded all of our shit in. But I don't think we'd been to our room yet because we loaded all the stuff. Was that the same night
I dropped all the shit on the floor?
No. So we loaded all the stuff in Ryan and Joe's room. We hadn't been to our room yet. So we got our snacks. One of mine was a twirl. We went back to our room. It was just me and Robin. We walked in, there were fucking flies everywhere.
Alive, dead, fucking everywhere, right? It was grim. It was fucking horrible.
But it's like 2 a.m. at this point. We're not the type to complain at any time of day. So we were just like, well, this is funny. There are flies everywhere. Robin tried to kill one of them.
Well, I had to. It was buzzing, it was loud, and it was fucking huge. It was like, you know, those queen bees. It was like the queen fly. It was huge, right? And it was buzzing just in one place. Yeah. Like, it just wasn't. And I was like, there's obviously something wrong with it already. Gonna have to put it out of its misery. So I just had to kill it. We were delirious, we were so tired.
It was so funny to us. And then, so we killed this fly. We were like, okay, we'll just leave the rest. Like, they weren't as annoying. We just left them. We got into bed. And we were like, right, have our snacks. Had our crisps, had our drink. And got our twirl. My twirl. And it was like, you know, when you have promotional stuff on, like, packets and stuff. There was a photo of popular footballer Steph Horton on my twirl, and I went to the same primary school as
we
Steph
went to the same
Horton.
secondary school as her. She went to Hetton school as well, yeah.
Local hero to us, Steph Horton. And I didn't understand, like, I was delirious. I just saw Steph Horton, I was like, Steph Horton on my twirl, and you were like, what? So I remember, like, I'd already ripped the packaging by this point, so I had to put it back together, like, put our face back together.
She went, Steph Horton on my twirl, and I was like, what? She went, Steph Horton on my twirl. Said the same thing twice. Because you're only thinking of, like, Steph Horton that you know and love. Yeah. Not like Steph Horton, the famous footballer, like, former England captain, lioness. Pioneer? You know what I mean?
My mate.
Your mate, Steph Horton.
Yes. So what's yours?
Mine is when we were in Glasgow and you trying to get parked and it was really busy. The car park was really busy. And we were driving around trying to find a space for ages, and it was like people were parked where they weren't meant to be. They were parked like squeezed into spaces that weren't even spaces. It was a disaster.
This isn't a fucking transit van.
Huge van trying to find a space. So we eventually find a space. Ryan's trying to reverse into it, right? And Katie doesn't realise that she's still connected to the speakers on her phone, like via Bluetooth. So she goes on TikTok. Some random TikTok starts playing. Ryan's stressed to fucking death. And then he turns around and he goes, not right now! Not right now. Not right now. So we still say it all the time now. Not right now. You got such a telling off.
Yeah, I got.
It was so mad.
And then obviously we were laughing more, and eventually he found it funny, but he didn't.
At the time, he didn't think it was funny, but that made us think it was even funny. We were lying on the back seat, trying not to scream our heads off with laughter, trying not to put him off driving him. Obviously, we don't want him to crash the van. Nathan was out the back giving it this, trying to get him reversed properly in the space. I can't even remember what TikTok it was, but it was a really like loud, obnoxious sound, and it went from silence to that, and he got a shock. And I think he was like, "Not right now," furious. So that was that. I say it all the time. So I say it to people.
Not
I don't
right
even
now.
know the context. Not right now. Reminder: we're going on tour again in
yeah.
June. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th of June. You should come.
Woo.
Be there. Huddersfield. Is it Leeds or Manchester first? Manchester, I
Yes.
think. Then Leeds, then Sheffield. If you live in any of those places or in their surrounding areas, please come and watch us. We're playing with 2 really cool bands. We're going to link them below. Check them out. We'll link the tickets as well. Buy a ticket. Come to the show. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to have the best
touring.
time.
We
Can't wait.
love tour.
Going to make more best moments, worst moments, funniest moments.
Fly.
Fly. That's it, I think. Anything else to say?
Yep. Thanks for listening to us brag about the best experience of our whole lives.
Whole lives ever. If you've got any questions that we didn't touch on, or if you are going on tour and you want any tips or anything, not that we're experts, we know nothing.
We did it one time.
We did it one time, but if you, I mean, you can only talk from experience, and we have a little bit of experience. So if you do want to give us a message about it, feel free. We will impart what little wisdom we have to you.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Goodbye.